Welcome to Module 4 of the Proofpoint Essentials Accredited Administrator course. In this module, we'll cover email filters and safe and blocked sender lists. In particular, we will look at the following: how filters work in Essentials, how to set up simple encryption and extension filters, how to use filters for data loss prevention, and finally, we'll explore how to set up company-wide safe and blocked sender lists, as well as sender lists at individual and group levels. First up in this module, we'll take a look at simple filters. We'll show you how to set up a couple of commonly used filters to encrypt outgoing mails and to quarantine mails that contain executable attachments. Email filters can be applied to an entire company, a group of users, or to individual users. Filters are applied separately to inbound and outbound mail flows. To access an organization's custom filters, click Company Settings on the main menu and then Filters. Filter functionality can also be managed at a more granular level under the Users and Groups menus. Filters work by applying a condition based on the value of a range of variables, including the sender address, attachment type, message content, and many other options. If the condition returns true, you can choose to allow, quarantine, encrypt, or simply do nothing to the mail. As an example of how filtering works in the product, we'll look at how to set up an encryption filter for outbound mail. Email encryption is a feature that is available for users with the advanced or professional packages and must be enabled in the Features page under the Company Settings option in the Proofpoint Essentials main menu. The encryption filter is used to encrypt any outbound message that has the word encrypt within square brackets in the subject line. To set up an encryption filter company-wide, first click Company Settings on the main menu and then click Filters. Select the Outbound tab and click the New Filter button. Enter a name for the filter, for example, Outbound Encryption, and click Continue. On the next page, set the scope to Company. Note that encryption can only be set at company level. You can't add an encryption filter for groups or individual users. To send an encrypted email based on a subject keyword, set your logic as if email subject contains any of encrypt in square brackets. Next, choose encrypt from the drop-down list of actions. Click Save to finish. Proofpoint Essentials will now filter all outgoing mail for the company, and anytime it sees an email with the string encrypt in square brackets in the subject line, that message will be encrypted. Next, we'll look at setting up a filter to catch any executable files sent as attachments. To set up an attachment type filter company-wide, first click Company Settings on the main menu and then click Filters. Select the Inbound tab and click the New Filter button. Enter a name for the filter, for example, Quarantine Executables, and click Continue. On the next page, set the scope to Company. From the If section, choose Attachment Type Is and click the Manage link. In the dialog that appears, click Windows Executable Components, Installers, and Other Vulnerabilities and select all the options. Next, click Other Executable Components and Installers and select all the options there too. Proofpoint Essentials will now filter for all executable and installer file types for Windows, Mac, and Linux operating systems. Next, choose Quarantine from the drop-down list of actions. Click Save to finish. Files of any executable type that are attached to incoming messages will now be quarantined. Staying with filters, we'll look next at how Proofpoint Essentials Data Loss Protection feature enables you to filter messages for specific data and prevent sensitive or business-critical information from being sent out of your network. Data loss protection is available to users with business, advanced, or professional packages and must be enabled on the Features page under the Company Settings menu. When the feature is enabled, you have access to a range of dictionaries and smart identifiers that can be used in filters. Dictionaries are lists of financial, personal, or other protected information terms that Proofpoint Essentials can use when scanning messages. Smart identifiers scan for patterns of numbers and other information. For example, social security numbers, parcel tracking information, or credit card numbers. If a scan discovers a dictionary term or a smart identifier pattern in a message, you can choose the action to be carried out for that message. For outgoing mail, this might mean quarantining the mail to prevent it being sent, or encrypting it so that sensitive information is not sent in the clear. In the following example, we'll create a filter that scans outgoing mail for international bank account numbers, and, if it finds them, we'll quarantine the message. First, click Company Settings and then Filters. Next, select the Outbound tab and click New Filter. Enter a name for the filter in the Filter Name field and click Continue. We can now configure the filter logic. We'll keep the scope at company level and choose Smart Identifier Scan from the If drop-down list. Next, we'll click the Manage link to see the list of smart identifiers available. The international bank account number smart identifier we want to use for this filter is listed under Banking Information. Finally, we'll select Quarantine from the Do drop-down list and click Save. From now on, any message that contains an international bank account number that is sent from one of the domains added on the domains page for this company will be quarantined and will not be sent out unless it's released from quarantine. Next, in this module, we'll turn our attention to safe and blocked sender lists. The Sender Lists feature in Proofpoint Essentials allows you to create lists of safe and blocked senders at company, group, and user levels. Messages from email addresses or domains that are added to a safe sender list are not quarantined and are passed directly to users even if they are suspected of being spam, unless they contain a virus, in which case they'll be blocked. Messages from email addresses or domains that are added to a blocked sender list are automatically blocked if they're received by Proofpoint Essentials. To add addresses or domains to a blocked or safe sender list for the entire company, click Company Settings on the Proofpoint Essentials main menu and Sender Lists on the submenu. Add email addresses, domains, IP addresses, or CIDR ranges to the relevant text area as shown in the examples on screen. You can indicate wildcards by using an asterisk. Click Save when you're done. In addition to company-wide safe and blocked sender lists, you can also create sender lists for individual users and user groups. To create a blocked or safe sender list for an individual user, click Users and Groups in the Proofpoint main menu, select the user from the Users page, and click Sender Lists in the submenu. To create a blocked or safe sender list for a group of users, click Users and Groups in the Proofpoint main menu, select the group from the Groups page, and click Sender Lists in the submenu. The procedure for adding emails, addresses, domains, and so on for individual users or user groups is identical to what we used when creating company-wide sender lists. Addresses or domains in user or group safe lists take precedence over those added to company-wide blocked sender lists. In other words, if an address is added to a user's personal safe list that also exists in the company blocked list, the personal safe list will win out and any messages from that address will not be quarantined. Similarly, sender lists set at the user level will take precedence over those set at group level. And like user level lists, lists set at group level also take precedence over those set at company level. If a message contains competing identification information, for example, its domain is considered safe but its IP address is blocked, priority will be given to the full IP address first, then the email address, then the domain, followed by the wildcarded IP address, and finally to the IP address in CIDR notation. It should be noted, however, that if you're using CIDR notation in sender lists, that /24 IP blocks are the largest you can use. In this module, we looked at how filters and sender lists work in Proofpoint Essentials. In the next module, we'll be looking at spam management, quarantine digests, as well as the URL defense and attachment defense features.